Gerald 200, what's up? Hey, it's Memorial Day weekend, summer 2019. Alrighty. So, in the next lecture, I'm going to give you clear instructions on what to do for your critical thinking assignment. What we're doing today is we're launching back in to our readings and quizzes. And this is where we're at here. So all these should be done by this week. Got to be done by tonight, okay? And we look right in here, and you see it's the same reading assignment that you use for your discussion, but now you're going to use it for your quizzes, okay? And the quizzes come down right down here. And then we'll have an applied discussion that's based on kind of theoretical aging with your respect to your reproductive system. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this guy, and it's going to take a little while to come up, as you can see. There we go. Alrighty, and so you guys have already been exposed to this. This is a good primer on the biology of aging, and clear knowledge in the biology of aging is directly applicable to understanding the vulnerability of these age-related non-communicable diseases. The three big ones that we're going to talk about are diabetes. We're going to talk about cancer, and we're going to talk about heart disease, and we're going to link diabetes to heart disease. Okay. In fact, a lot of medicine is actually targeting these basic aspects of aging, and so there's a lot of research that goes on to what are the mechanisms, and there's so many that interact that cause aging, and so you kind of look through this concept, and they within this reading they talk about some model systems. It's really difficult to study mechanisms of aging in long-lived creatures like ourselves, human beings, and even in animals like laboratory mice and rats. It's just the fact that they live 3 years of age, 2 to 3 years of age. It's really hard to do a study where you manipulate some variable to see if it impacts aging, because unfortunately, when we look at research grants that fund that kind of research, they can be 3 to 5 years long, and it's really difficult to get a clear picture on that. And so a lot of times researchers, in fact, many researchers have turned model organisms, other model organisms besides mice and rats, and we look at things like Drosophila, which is the fruit fly, who they have lived for weeks. Nematode worms, they're called C. elegans. Sean Kern in our department works on this. Again, they're very short-lived, and even something as simple as yeast has turnover in days. Yes, I said yeast. Okay, and that's where Walter Longo got his start, and now he's doing amazing things in our group. Humans, of course, you do a manipulation, you have to be able to study a human for 30, 40 years, and it's really, really difficult to do. Not that it can't be done, but it's difficult. So we want to modify the course of aging, and it's great to look at these short-lived organisms because you know what's going on. Okay, alrighty. So then it goes through some of the basic theories. Now you see right here, there is an initial discussion right in here about something called insulin and insulin-like growth factor. These are neuroendocrine theories of aging, and they're very tightly linked to diet. Okay, so we're finding that, look back here, we can limit the number of calories. So we just have a reasonable diet. We don't eat as much. You compare it to people, mice and rats, and even these short-lived creatures like yeast and C. elegans. If you don't let any organism gorge itself, they live longer, okay? And so all these calories cause this increase in insulin levels. So, if you have a donut, boom, your sugar levels go high and you produce all this insulin. And insulin is then a hormone that says, let's pack away the sugar, and also, by the way, since we have so many goodies, let's just grow like there's no tomorrow. And so you get bigger and bigger and bigger. This insulin-like growth factor is another important growth hormone. And so you do this growth at the cost of not repairing any of the damage that you accumulate on a daily basis. And you were getting all kinds of damage. You look at the rust on a car, you're rusting inside your body, okay? And that damage begins to add up, causes damage to your DNA. You have mutations, and the overstimulation of growth causes the mutations to pass from cell to cell to cell. And so there's a very tight link between obesity, these hormones, the lack of repair, and getting diseases like cancer. Okay, alrighty. So I just lost it right here. Let's go back. Okay, it's in my PDF file. Sorry. Alrighty. So let's take a look here. All right. So now we're going to go back and look at some of these aging theories. All right. So is it just a part of development? All right. So we change a lot as we grow, going from a newborn to a child to a teenager, and is this just the natural course? Are there programs? And there's not a lot of support of this. Okay, it's more kind of a wearing and tearing down of the system. Okay, cross-linking glycation. Okay, so diabetes is the classic example of this, and there's certainly evidence of this. And I want to take a step back to tell you that all of these theories have some applicability. Okay, so with this, what happens is when you candy coat proteins, they no longer work right, and the immune system reacts to it with a major inflammatory response, and you get diseases like heart disease. Okay, evolutionary theory of aging. Okay, and with this concept, they talk about the theory of antagonistic pleiotrophy, and that is things that make you really, really, really fit so that you can reproduce later on in life can be problematic and cause lots and lots and lots of problems. Okay, so it's like I said, it's grow, but down the line that can lead to some serious problems for you as an individual. That's just one example of antagonistic pleiotropy. There's in here we talk about maintaining DNA, okay, and that's DNA repair enzymes, and they're linked in terms of damage. The damage you're going to have, the oxidative damage. Okay, so every time we breathe in oxygen and use it, there's a byproduct that's kind of like rust, this oxidation that tears up the DNA, it tears up proteins, tears up cell membranes, and so we have to repair that. And if you don't repair it, the damage accumulates over time. Okay, and that's what that's all about. And those animals that have more oxidative damage are shorter lived. And that's what the rate of living is all about. Okay, in the replicative senescence hypothesis, that means for tissues that we have a lot of turnover, like our white blood cells, our red blood cells, our skin, the cells that line our gastrointestinal system, that there's a limited number of cell divisions that they can undergo. And there's theories on this based on cell culture studies. And probably one of the best examples of this is your reproductive system. We're producing through cell division new sperm, new eggs, and over time those begin to slow down. Okay. Alrighty, so then we can come back in here and apply it to the different aspects of reproduction. I guess reproductive system slows, we accumulate damage, and as a result of damage, we have a lot more problems in terms of our genetic material, and that's what's talked about right here. So I want you to read through this. I want you to study right here this concept of in vitro fertilization through these videos. And then I want you to go into this website and learn a little about this. And probably the most striking thing that you can see, you can go through each of these topics to learn more about reproductive aging. This is a fertility website made by a company that helps women that are infertile. And we look at the rate of decline of fertility with age, okay? And we see that you see the most births in this age group right here. Okay, it's your age group that you are, slightly thereafter. And then we see a big decline. It's not that you're not super fertile here, it's that for the most part, the population is trying to avoid reproduction through birth control in these times right here. Okay, here it's prime time reproduction, and then in your later years, you find that your fertility drops. Okay, the real challenge in modern society is many women are in the workplace and they're trying to get their careers in order, and when they feel like, okay, I'm ready, then they start having significant drops in their fertility, and this is why they turn to in vitro fertilization or fertility drug treatments. Okay, all right, and these are different tests that you can look at to look at your fertility potential if you're having infertility problems. And I want you to just kind of look through this right here and discuss it. Okay, this shows you the link between your brain right here, the pituitary gland, and the release of hormones. So you are releasing follicle stimulating hormone, you're releasing luteinizing hormone, and they cause a maturation of your eggs within your ovaries. Okay, and then they're released. And so you can see how fertile you are by looking at this relationship. Men, this what stimulates our testosterone and also stimulates sperm production. Okay, so there's some discussion here about FSH. Okay, what it is. So I want you to read through that. Okay, and Clomiphene, which is a drug, a fertility drug, causes a significant stimulation of FSH. This tells you all about the Clomiphene challenge test. Okay. And if you look here at the Clomiphene mechanism of action, that's one way to look at it. Again, what Clomiphene does is it increases the amount of cells that are produced, okay, by the ovaries. So cells right here, Clomiphene triggers the brain's pituitary gland to secrete an increased amount of FSH and LH, okay, and then this action, okay, stimulates the growth of your ovarian follicle and initiates ovulation. So if you're having trouble getting pregnant, the doctors can inject you with Clomiphene and you become a super ovulator and you start producing tons and tons of eggs. Okay, alrighty. So that's what this is all about. So read through that, look at watch the videos, and then comment on this concept of fertility changes. Now, I do want to remind you, because of the theories of aging and lack of DNA repair, it's happening not only, the problems are not only happening in the eggs of the women, but also happening in terms of men and their sperm. All right. So this is an amazing article right here looking at the father's age, paternal age, and the increased likelihood of all these disorders right here. Okay. And you just kind of look through this. You look at autism, ADHD, psychosis, bipolar, all linked to paternal age. Okay. How do we know this? Well, you look at numbers of birth where the mother is young but the father's older. Okay, and you get this kind of data. All right. So so we all experience aging in our reproductive system. Okay. I want you guys to have fun with this, and then I will come back to you and I'll explain to you exactly what you need to do to complete the critical thinking assignment. All right. You guys take care.